Hi, my name is Christina and this is a Joice crochet guide. In this guide I will show you how to crochet Luna. Luna is a small, elegant and practical bag which is suitable for everyday use. It is quite easy to crochet and you don't need many materials to make it apart from a single spool of yarn and some metal parts. My guide is comprehensive and takes you from start to finish step by step. The goal with all my guides is to ensure that everybody can participate, even those who are completely new to the wonderful world of crocheting. You can buy everything needed to make this bag as a kit in my online shop at Joice UK, where I sell yarn and accessories for crocheted bags. Hope you will like the video and subscribe to my channel, it helps a lot. We will need 1 spool of t-shirt yarn. I use high quality t-shirt yarn in 100% cotton. It is made from primary textiles and thus not from fabric scraps. It also doesn't contain elastane. A crochet hook, I use size 6. Depending on how firm you crochet, you have to judge for yourself if you need a crochet hook in size 6, 7 or 8. 2 Carabiner rings for the shoulder chain. A lobster lock with a ring. A press lock. A metal chain with a lobster lock. Scissors, a knitting needle, start by unwinding approximately 1.5 to 2 meter yarn from your yarn spool. We call this part our helper thread. The helper thread will be used to close rows to achieve so-called seamless connection. Start crocheting from here. Make a loop. Make 10 chains. Check if the number of chains is correct. You should now have 10 chains in total. Make 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. You must crochet under the back stitch link and then continue under the back wall of the stitch. Make 8 more single crochets. You are now back at the loop you made with the first chain. You have to pull it apart. Make 2 more single crochets in the last chain. You must crochet under this chain link. Make 7 single crochets. When you need to make the 8th single crochet in the first row, you must crochet in the stitch link of the first turn stitch. Loosen the loop a little. Now we need to use our helper thread. Insert the hook through the hole. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. Insert the hook in the next hole, hook the helper thread and make a chain. Continue until you have 7 braids at the bottom. Stop when you have 7 braids at the bottom. Pull the helper thread through the bottom. You now have 1 hole left. Insert the hook in the last hole from the wrong side, hook the helper thread and pull it through. We now need to make a seamless connection to close the first row. Pull apart the last single crochet until you have 2 loops on your hook. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. Insert the hook through the first stitch we made in this row from the wrong side. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. Insert the hook through the back horizontal stitch link and back stitch link. Save this place in your mental photo album. We're going through it the same way with each and every seamless connection we will make going forward. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. You have now closed the first row with a seamless connection. You must now make the semicircle at the end by making increases. Start from the point where the helper thread protrudes. Insert the hook under both stitches. Hook the working thread and make a chain. Make one single crochet in the same stitch. These two stitches together make up an increase. An increase is therefore two stitches made in the same stitch. Make another increase in the next stitch. And an increase again. You have now made 3 increases in total. Make 7 single crochets. Insert the hook under both stitches. We have now made 7 single crochets. You must now make 3 increases again. First, second, third, make 6 single crochets until you reach the last single crochet in this row. When making the 7th single crochet in this row, stop when you have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap the helper thread, hook it and pull it through both loops. We are in the process of making a seamless connection. Insert the hook through the first stitch we made in this row. Finally! Hook the helper thread and pull it all the way through. Insert the hook through the back horizontal stitch link and back stitch link. Do you recognize this spot? Hook the helper thread and pull it through. We have now closed the second and final row of the base. If you have followed the guide to the letter, you should have 26 stitches in total in each row of the sides. Start from here. Insert the hook under both stitches and make a chain. Make a regular single crochets all the way around. From here, make single crochets to the last stitch in the row. We have now made 24 single crochets and now have to make a seamless connection again. Insert the hook and hook the working thread. Switch to the helper thread when you have 2 loops on your hook. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. Now insert the hook through the first stitch in this row. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. Insert the hook through the back horizontal stitch link and back stitch link. Hook the helper thread and pull it through. We have now made the first row of the sides of the bag. To get to the next row, you have to start crocheting from the place where your helper thread protrudes. Make single crochets with seamless connections between the rows until you have 12 rows in total. The sides should be approximately 14 centimeters tall. Cut the yarn. Now we need to hide the ends. You can use a knitting needle or a smaller crochet hook for this. Hide the end. We now have to finish the sides with slip stitches, which look great. Insert the hook under both stitches, hook the working thread and pull it through. While you have the loop on your hook, insert the needle into the next stitch, hook the thread and pull it all the way through the loop. Continue making slip stitches all the way around. To close this row, we need to make a so-called false stitch. Unfortunately, I lost the video clip here. Sorry. You have to cut the working thread approximately 15 centimeters from the bag. Insert the hook through the first stitch we made in this row, Hook the yarn and pull it through. Insert the hook in the center of the stitch as I show here. Hook the yarn and pull it through. Hide the ends under stitches inside the bag using a knitting needle. The sides of the bag are now complete. Make a loop. Make 10 chains. You must have 11 chains in total. Crochet in the second stitch from the hook. You must crochet under the back stitch link. Make 9 more single crochets to the end of the row. Now make a chain. Turn the flap. Make a single crochet in the first stitch. Make single crochets to the end of the row. You have to make sure that you also crochet in the last stitch, otherwise your edge will be uneven. Make a chain again. Turn the flap and make single crochets under both stitch lengths. Repeat this process until the flap is approximately 15 centimeters long. The flap is now 15 centimeters long. We now have to make single crochets all the way around the flap to give it a nice finish. You have to insert the crochet hook in the stitches under the edge as I show here. Make sure you don't make too few single crochets, otherwise the flap will twist. You must crochet under this braid. Make single crochets all the way around until you reach the start of the last row of the flap. We now need to close the edge with a false stitch. Cut the yarn. Pull the thread through the loop. Insert the hook, hook the yarn and pull it through to the wrong side. Insert the needle under the back of the stitch and the back stitch link. Hook the thread and pull it through. Hide the ends under stitches on the wrong side. The flap is finished. Now we need to sew it on our bag. It must be sewn on the second row from the top. Grab a knitting needle and a piece of yarn. Make sure the flap follows the second row so that it doesn't become crooked. The sides of the flap must also be sewn on, to ensure that it's attached all the way up to the top of the bag. Before we hide the ends, we have to attach the side we started in a little extra, as it is a little loose. Finally, hide the ends under stitches inside the bag with a small crochet hook. Let's put on the press lock. Place the press lock where the flap ends. You must squeeze the metal legs until the lock is secure. Once you've placed the lock in the middle, clamp it firmly. You may carefully use tools for this operation, but make sure you have fabric in between, not to scratch the lock. We can now add the shoulder chain. Let's continue and make the tassel. We will need yarn, a lobster lock with a ring, a crochet hook in size 3 to 3.5, scissors, a piece of cardboard approximately 16 to 17 centimeters long. The yarn must be laid with the wrong side facing you. Wrap the yarn around the cardboard. You must now wrap the yarn 15 times around the cardboard until the tassel has the right thickness. Cut the yarn. You now need another piece of yarn which is twice as long as your piece of cardboard, in this case around 30 centimeters. Grab a lobster lock and put the yarn through the ring with the wrong side up, as I show here. Insert the thread with the lobster lock under the tassel with the wrong side up. It is important that you place the lobster lock in the middle. Tie a knot. Turn the tassel inside out. You will now need another extra piece of yarn which is twice as long as your piece of cardboard. Make a loop. Wrap the thread around 3 to 4 times. Grab the end of the thread and put it through the loop. Pull both ends to tighten. Now we need to hide the ends. Make sure all threads lie neatly and evenly. Cut the yarn at the bottom. Trim the ends. The tassel is done. Let's put it on the bag. From here you can use the bag as it is, but you can also make an inner lining if you want. Hope you have enjoyed your project and are happy with your beautiful bag. Thanks for watching.